the profession of real estate, it feels like it's more about the photos of the home or the photos of the agent and all of those types of things, because that's what people do. They hire photographers and things like that. How do you recommend, is it a process? People, when you're teaching this, how do you teach it?
Yeah, I mean, there's many strands to it. And I think one of the things that I can share with you, an overview right now, is a sort of thread that runs right through coaching programs or training programs, or even the keynote to some degree.
Sure.
And I call it the Espresso Effect model.
Okay.
And what I mean by this is that this is a way we can start to really extract and suck out of us what it is that our brand stands for fundamentally and authentically. And if you think about an espresso machine, all the coffee beans that go in at the top, they all represent a pivotal moment in your life, an experience, a challenging time, something your mum said when you were small and you've never forgotten, something your teacher said on your first day at school, your first job, all these pivotal moments and experiences that go in at the top end. Then all the coffee beans get browned and percolated to produce your beliefs, your values, your strengths, your motivators, your purpose, your whole personality is created from those experiences. And then in the tiny condensed cup underneath, in its purest essence, that's your brand statement. And this is what we really need to get to differentiate who we are as individuals and who you are as luxury real estate agents. We need to understand what those few sentences are that really describe you and that authentic story, that backstory. So that's vitally important because that's unique. Nobody can copy that. So that's a process I use to help people extract what is really important about them and their brand. And there's always a light bulb moment or two when they look back and say, hey, you know, that experience I had, I'd almost forgotten. It's been in the back of my mind, but that's why I do what I do. That's why I'm really good at X. Or that's why I excel at or have an absolute passion for A and B and C. So that's a method that I would use a lot. And it's not easy to do on your own, but you can start to do it on your own.
Sure. I hear workshop in that, right? Like that's something that's kind of hands-on and a way for folks to focus on themselves. Cause I think that's the thing that people really dislike the most about this idea of creating their own personal brand or even writing their own bio. Okay. Yeah, like this idea of that mirror is just, how am I going to figure all of this out? And so, yes, we've invited you to do some workshops with us. And I couldn't be more excited about that because I think it is the essence of this differentiation of in the profession where there's so many people. I came to the Institute a number of years ago with a charter in my own mind. And that charter in my mind was, how do we help people pick a real estate professional? Because they don't know how to do it. The actual general public doesn't know, because in part there are so many, and because in part this idea of distilling and drilling down to who am I and why should you hire me?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's, and it's easy in this industry to fast forward through all that and go, wait a minute, I got to do something on social media, and not put the whole thing together as an entire package. And so it's like temptation everywhere.
Yeah, it is. It's like a squirrel. I'll do that now. And that's what I find with most real estate professionals when I'm coaching, or any professional, is that they know they have to do a little bit of social media, but it's like a fire hose approach, and there's no strategy. Mm-hmm. And what is always important to start with, where I always start, is to get that brand clarified to start with, get that statement articulated. Let's get absolute clarity on what your differentiators are. And then let's look at how we can hang off social media posts and anything that you do to add a layer to your brand. Let's make sure all of those layers hang off of what that statement is and who you are, rather than just pick something and write about it.
And it's not just your website.
No.
In the training that I've had, right, these sort of the language of branding is these can't miss moments. Okay. And I consider can't miss moments even down to the automated reply I do on my email. And these are places where I think, and I don't want to call anybody out, but I do want to bring this up as the tentacles of your brand.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I think real estate agents do, and they do it to their own demise and they don't even know they're doing it, and that is they talk about how busy they are. And down to an automatic reply on the email that says, I'm really busy. And because somewhere along the line, someone said that the busier you are, the more important you are. So talk about just even something like that and how that could derail the positioning you're trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it goes back to the absolute core of all of this is how you're making your client feel. Now, if I get an out of office email that says I'm really busy right now and I'm on the road and I'm doing this and I may not get back to you in 24 hours, what I feel there is this person is either disorganized or they're too busy so I'm not going to get a really good personal service here. It doesn't fill me with confidence that that person is grounded enough. If you think about the feeling that you get from that when someone says, oh, I'm busy, it's almost like an anxiety thing.
Right.
It doesn't make you feel good. So it comes back to this same thing. And absolutely, you're right. It's the voicemail message, the email, every post that we put on any social media, voicemail messages that we leave, how we deal with remote meetings like this.
Mm-hmm.
You're adding a layer all the time to your brand, and they really speak volumes about you. So you're absolutely right to pick on that. It's something that we often just forget.